I gave him 6 years. I paid off his student loans while he found himself. I worked double so he could finish his degree. Last month, I bought the engagement ring myself because he said he wanted to save for our future. 2 days ago, I called to tell him I got the promotion. He didn't pick up. So, I waited on the line. That's when I heard him laugh and say, "The idiot doesn't know I'm only with her for the money." My name is Sarah. I'm 29 years old, and until 72 hours ago, I thought I knew what love looked like. I'm a senior project manager at a mid-sized tech firm in Denver, and I'd spent the last 6 years building a life with a man I believed was building one with me. His name was Evan. We met in college. He was charming, ambitious, still figuring out his major for the 3rd time. I was already interning, already focused. He said he loved that about me. Said I made him want to be better. I graduated and started working. He graduated 2 years later, different major, same debt. $73,000 of it. I didn't hesitate. We were a team. I pulled extra shifts, freelanced on weekends, lived in a shoebox apartment because he said he needed time to find the right opportunity. So I gave him time. I gave him space. I gave him my savings. By year 4, his loans were paid. He got a job in marketing. Nothing fancy, but stable. He started talking about marriage, about kids, about the house we'd buy in the suburbs with the good school district. I started looking at rings because he said he was bad at that kind of thing. I picked one out. Modest. Classic. I bought it myself and slipped it into his drawer with a note that said, "Whenever you're ready." He proposed 3 months later. Same ring. He'd even had it resized. I thought that meant something. 2 weeks ago, I got the promotion I'd been working toward for 18 months. It came with a 30% raise and a corner office I didn't need but appreciated anyway. I was in the car when HR called with the news, shaking so hard I had to pull over. The first person I wanted to tell was Evan. I called him twice. He didn't answer. I figured he was in a meeting. I tried again 20 minutes later. Same thing. The call connected, but no one spoke. I was about to hang up when I heard voices in the background. Laughter. Music. The muffled noise of a bar or a restaurant. I almost ended the call, but something stopped me. Maybe it was instinct. Maybe it was the edge in his laugh, the one he used when he thought he was being clever. I stayed quiet. "Dude, seriously though," a voice said. I didn't recognize it. "When are you actually gonna marry her?" More laughter. "I don't know, man," Evan said. His voice was looser than usual. Probably drunk. "I mean, she's useful, right? She's got the job, the benefits, the credit score. I'd be an idiot to walk away from that." Someone whistled. "Cold, bro." "It's not cold," Evan said. "It's smart. She practically begged me to propose. Bought her own ring and everything. I just played along. And now she just got promoted, so..." He trailed off. I could hear him smiling. Honestly, the idiot doesn't know I'm only with her for the money. The table erupted. Voices I didn't know, celebrating a punchline I'd apparently become. I sat in my car in the grocery store parking lot and listened to my fiancé explain to his friends how easy I'd been to manipulate. How I'd funded his life while he waited for someone better to come along. How he'd stay with me as long as it was convenient. How he'd already started seeing someone on the side, a girl from his gym named Jessica, because Sarah's too busy working to notice anyway. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I sat there until the call dropped, and then I drove home in complete silence. When I got to our apartment, my apartment, the one I'd been paying for since month 1, Evan was already there. Shoes off. Feet on the coffee table. Scrolling through his phone like nothing had happened. He looked up when I walked in and smiled. "Hey, babe. How was your day?" I set my keys down carefully. "Fine. Just fine." He frowned, mock concern. "Didn't you have that meeting with HR?" "I did." And I looked at him. Really looked. At the man I'd sacrificed for. The man I'd loved. The man who just called me an idiot to a room full of strangers. "I got the promotion," I said. His face lit up. He stood, arms open, walking toward me like he had the right. "Baby, that's amazing. I knew you would. We should celebrate." Let me take you out tonight.
No. He stopped.
What? I'm tired, I said. I'm going to bed. I walked past him, locked the bedroom door, sat on the edge of the bed and stared at the wall until my hands stopped shaking. That's when the begging stopped, and the planning began. Section 2. I didn't confront him that night. I didn't throw anything, didn't scream, didn't ask him to explain himself. I just lay in bed with the door locked and let the silence do its work. Around midnight, he knocked. Soft at first, then louder. Sarah? Come on, babe. Open up. What's going on? I didn't answer. Are you mad at me? Did I do something? The concern in his voice was so practiced, so smooth, that I almost laughed. Almost. But I stayed quiet, and eventually he stopped knocking. I heard him settle onto the couch. Heard him sighing loud enough for me to hear through the door, like he was the victim of some mystery he couldn't solve. I didn't sleep. I spent the entire night going through everything. Bank statements, shared accounts, lease agreements. My name was on all of it. Every single piece of our life together had my signature, my credit, my money behind it. Evan's name appeared exactly twice, on the lease as a co-tenant, and on one shared credit card I'd added him to 3 years ago for emergencies. He'd used it 4 times in the last month, all at restaurants I'd never been to. 2 of the charges were for 2 people. I opened my laptop and started a spreadsheet. By morning, I had a full accounting of the last 6 years. $73,000 in loan payments. 18 months of rent he couldn't cover while he was between jobs. Car insurance, phone bill, groceries, utilities, vacation to Mexico that he'd called our anniversary trip, but I'd paid for in full. Even the engagement ring. Total, just over $147,000. I sat back and stared at the number. $147,000 I'd given to a man who thought I was too stupid to notice he was using me. At 6:30 a.m., I heard him get up, heard the shower run, heard him humming in the kitchen while he made my coffee from the machine I bought. He knocked on the bedroom door again. Sarah, you coming out? I made breakfast. I opened the door. He smiled. That same easy, charming smile that had worked on me for 6 years. He was holding a plate of toast, badly buttered. Probably his first time making me anything in months. Peace offering, he said. I looked at the toast, then at him. I'm not hungry. His smile faltered. Okay. Well, do you want to talk about last night? You seemed upset. I wasn't upset. Then what? I was tired, I said. Like I told you. He studied me for a moment, confused. I could see him trying to figure out what had shifted, what he'd missed. But he didn't push. He never pushed. That required effort. All right, he said slowly. Well, I'm heading to work. We'll talk tonight? Sure. He kissed me on the forehead. I didn't move. After he left, I called my lawyer. Her name was Monica. I'd worked with her on a contract dispute at my company 2 years ago, and we'd stayed in touch. She answered on the second ring. Sarah, it's been a while. What's going on? I need to remove someone from my lease. Legally. Quickly. And I need to know what I'm entitled to if I've been financially supporting someone for 6 years. There was a pause. Who are we talking about? My fiancé. Another pause. Then, when can you come in? I met her that afternoon. Brought printed bank statements, receipts, emails, text messages where Evan had promised to pay me back next month and never did. Monica went through everything with the efficiency of someone who'd seen this before. When she finished, she looked up at me. You know you're not getting that money back, right? I know. Unless there's a written agreement. There isn't. She nodded. Then this is about cutting him off. Not restitution. That's fine. Good. Because that I can do. She leaned back. The lease is in your name. He's listed as an occupant, but you're the primary tenant and the only one with financial obligation to the landlord. Legally, you can ask him to leave with 30 days' notice. Do you want to go that route, or do you want this done faster? Faster. She smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. Then we'll need him to leave voluntarily. And that means making it uncomfortable enough that staying isn't worth it. How? Monica tapped her pen on the desk. Does he have keys? Yes. Does he pay for anything? Utilities, groceries, rent.
No.
Does he have another place he could go? I thought about Jessica from the gym, the one he'd mentioned so casually to his friends. Yes, I said. He does. Perfect. Here's what we're going to do. I listened, and for the first time in 72 hours, I felt something close to calm. That night, Evan came home and found the apartment exactly the way he'd left it. I was on the couch, reading. He kissed the top of my head again.
Hey.
Feeling better? Much better. Good. I was thinking we could order in tonight. Thai. Actually, I said, I already ate. He blinked.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I'll just order for myself then. Sure. He ordered, ate on the couch next to me, tried to start a conversation about his day. I gave him one-word answers. He didn't notice. Or he did and he didn't care. Either way, it didn't matter. At 10 p.m., I stood up. I'm going to bed. Already. I have an early meeting. Want company? He grinned. That grin.
No.
I locked the bedroom door again. This time, he didn't knock. Over the next week, I became a ghost in my own apartment. I left early, came home late, spoke only when spoken to, stopped cooking, stopped cleaning up after him, stopped pretending. Evan noticed. Of course he noticed. But he didn't know what to do with it. Men like him never do. They're used to effort.
To care.
To women bending over backward to keep them comfortable. When that stops, they malfunction. On day 5, he tried to pick a fight. Are you seeing someone else? I looked up from my laptop. What? You've been acting weird all week. Distant. Are you cheating on me? The audacity nearly broke me. Nearly. But I held it together.
No, Evan.
I'm not cheating on you. Then what's going on? Nothing. I'm just busy. Busy, he repeated. Right. He stormed off. Slammed the bathroom door. I went back to my work. On day 8, Monica called. It's done. The locks are being changed tomorrow at noon. I've drafted the notice. You can hand it to him tonight, or you can leave it on the counter when he's out. Your choice. I'll leave it on the counter. Smart. Less drama. And Sarah? Yeah. Block his number after you're done. Men like this don't go quietly. I will. I hung up and stared at the document she'd emailed over. 30 days notice to vacate. Legally sound. Emotionally final. I printed it. And I waited. Evan found the notice on a Tuesday morning. I'd left it on the kitchen counter next to his coffee mug, the one I'd bought him 2 Christmases ago, with some joke about mornings that wasn't funny anymore. I was already at work when he called. 17 times in the first hour. I didn't answer. I'd blocked his number the night before, just like Monica suggested, but he tried from different phones. The office line. His coworker's cell. Even a number I didn't recognize that I later realized was Jessica's. I blocked them all. By noon, he was at my office. Security called up first. There's an Evan Pritchard here to see you. Says it's urgent. Tell him I'm unavailable. He's pretty insistent, Miss Carver. Then tell him he's trespassing, and if he doesn't leave, you'll call the police. There was a pause. Then, understood. I watched from my office window as he was escorted out of the building. He looked up once, scanning the floors like he could find me. I stepped back from the glass. He didn't. The email started an hour later. Asterisk Sarah, please. Can we just talk? I don't understand what's happening. Asterisk. Asterisk, this is insane. You can't just kick me out. We're engaged. Asterisk. Asterisk, I don't know what I did, but whatever it is, we can fix it. Just call me. Asterisk. You're being cruel. I deleted them all without reading past the first line. That night, I came home to find my locks changed, just as Monica promised. The apartment was silent. Empty. Mine again. I walked through each room slowly, taking inventory. He'd gotten in somehow earlier, probably convinced the building manager was some story, and taken his things.
Most of them, anyway.
He'd left behind the small stuff. A phone charger. A pair of sneakers. A toothbrush in the bathroom. Little pieces of himself, scattered like bait. I threw them all away. On the counter, next to where I'd left the eviction notice, was a handwritten letter. His handwriting. Messy, rushed. Sarah. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I did wrong. But I love you. I've always loved you. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Please don't do this.
Please.
We can go to therapy. We can work this out. Just give me a chance to fix it. Asterisk. I'm staying at a friend's place. Call me when you're ready to talk. Asterisk. I'll wait as long as it takes. Evan. I read it twice. Then I took a photo of it and sent it to Monica with a single text for the file. She replied immediately. Asterisk good. Don't respond to him. Asterisk. I didn't. The weeks that followed were strange. Quiet in a way I wasn't used to. I'd spent 6 years with noise, his needs, his presence filling every corner of my life. Now there was just space. At first it felt wrong, like I'd forgotten something important. But slowly, the wrongness faded, and the space started to feel like relief. I rearranged the furniture, bought new sheets, hung pictures I'd wanted to hang for years but never did because Evan said they didn't match the vibe. I started cooking again for myself, meals I actually liked. I went to the gym, read books, slept through the night without waking up to someone else's alarm. I remembered what it felt like to be alone without being lonely. Evan kept trying. Flowers showed up at my office. I had the receptionist donate them to a nearby hospital. A gift basket appeared at my door. I gave it to my neighbor. He sent letters, actual handwritten letters, filled with apologies and promises and thinly veiled guilt trips about how much he'd sacrificed for our relationship. I kept them all. Not for sentimentality. For evidence in case I ever needed it. 6 weeks after I'd kicked him out, he tried one last time. I was leaving the office late, carrying my laptop bag and a coffee, when I saw him in the parking garage, leaning against my car, arms crossed. That same face he used to make when he wanted something boyish, apologetic, calculated. I stopped walking. You can't be here, Evan. I just want to talk.
No.
Sarah, please. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. I looked at him, really looked, and for the first time, I didn't see the man I'd loved. I saw a stranger. Someone small. Someone desperate. Someone who'd only ever valued me for what I could give him. You called me an idiot, I said quietly. He blinked.
What?
2 months ago. You were at a bar with your friends, and I called to tell you about my promotion. You didn't pick up, but the call connected. And I heard you laugh and tell a room full of people that I was too stupid to know you were only with me for the money. The color drained from his face. He started.
Stopped.
Sarah, I was drunk. I didn't mean. You also told them about Jessica. His mouth opened. Nothing came out. I paid off your loans, I continued. I supported you for 6 years. I bought my own engagement ring because you said you were saving for our future. And the whole time, you thought I was an idiot. I didn't. You did. I stepped closer. Not close enough to touch. Just close enough for him to see that I wasn't afraid. And the worst part? You were right. I was an idiot. But not anymore. He reached for me. I stepped back. Sarah, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I'll do anything. You'll leave, I said. And you'll never contact me again. Because if you do, I'll file a restraining order. And I'll make sure everyone you know, your job, your friends, Jessica, gets a copy of every receipt, every email, every text message that proves exactly what kind of person you are. You wouldn't. I smiled. Not kindly. Try me. For a moment, he just stood there, staring at me like he was seeing someone new. Someone he didn't recognize. Someone he couldn't manipulate. Then he left. I got in my car, locked the doors, and drove home. I didn't cry. I didn't feel victorious. I just felt free. 3 months later, I ran into one of Evan's friends at a coffee shop. The same one who'd been at that bar. He recognized me immediately, looked uncomfortable, tried to leave. I stopped him. Hey, I said. Quick question. Is Evan still with Jessica? He hesitated, then shook his head. She dumped him. Found out he was still trying to get back with you.
Ah.
For what it's worth, he said quietly. We all told him he screwed up. He just didn't listen. He never did. I left him standing there and walked out into the cold Denver morning with my coffee in hand, breathing an air that tasted like winter and new beginnings. I never heard from Evan again. I got a message from Monica a few months after that. Apparently, he tried to contest the eviction, claimed I'd promised to support him, that we'd had a verbal agreement, that I owed him something. She'd sent him copies of everything. The timeline, the charges, the receipts, the letter he'd written me. He dropped it. A year later, I got promoted again. This time to director. I bought a house. Small but mine. With a backyard and a kitchen that gets good light in the mornings. I planted a garden. Adopted a dog. Started seeing someone new, someone who pays for his own dinner, who asks about my day and actually listens, who doesn't need me to carry him. Sometimes I think about Evan. Not often. But when I do, I don't think about the betrayal or the money or the years I lost. I think about the moment I stopped begging. The moment I chose silence over spectacle. The moment I realized that the best revenge isn't making someone suffer. It's making them irrelevant. I don't know where he is now. I don't care. But I know where I am. And that's enough.